Birchall in the ring now.
And his opponent.
Birchall adjusting his knee pads, prime, pump, buff and ready for action when going up against Hade Vansen, the South City Thriller. Vansen looking in great condition here as he is ready to go one-on-one with Paul Birchall, one of the most impressive wrestlers in the FWA Academy. Hade slapping some hands and making his way round ringside. Hade and Birchall have locked horns in various locations up and down the country beforehand. Not to my knowledge within an FWA Academy ring before, so this should be a very interesting contest. Both employing similar styles when they want to, that of the hard-hitting, power and technical based. They can mix it up in all sorts of other styles when they want to. It'll be interesting to see what they do to each other in this matchup, how they decide to lock horns and go against each other, and Hade capable of using those kicks when he wants to.
To my right, weighing 6'4" and standing 300 pounds, Paul Birchall.
And Birchall, of course, so varied, so impressive.
And his opponent, the South City Thriller, Hade Vansen.
Vansen, with a look of supreme confidence on his face, could well be borderline arrogance, but as has been seen on many times before, Hade can really back it up. And Hade, one of the bigger men within the FWA Academy and the UK scene, but not nearly as big as the man on our screens right now in the blue trunks, Paul Birchall. These two pensively going for a lock-up. They don't get it. Birchall with something to say to the referee, not quite sure what, and Hade ensuring that the fans are right behind him, and a lovely strong lock-up from these two. Birchall managing to power him into the back and the corner. Fans here really backing Hade. Hade leaping around with boundless energy, and these two locking up again and again. Birchall proving himself capable of outpowering Hade Vansen. Many would have expected that, and indeed Birchall is a great deal bigger than Hade. Hade with a lot of confidence, however, and a lot of strength behind him. Still no match in the strength department for Paul Birchall. Hade now switching tactics and deciding instead to lock on a headlock. And when Hade locks that headlock on, he's locking it on tight with the intention of squeezing every last drop of blood out of the skull of Paul Birchall. And Birchall with what I'm sure are closed fists and shooting Vansen off. Vansen with a great big shoulder block, but it doesn't have its desired effect. It barely rocks Birchall, and Birchall just staring him out. Vansen running off the ropes and a hip toss attempt blocked. Vansen with a lovely enziguri, clapping Birchall around the back of the head, and beautiful start there for Hade Vansen, doing as well as could be expected against Birchall and really gaining an advantage. And Hade diving over the top rope a la Superman. My goodness me, an enormous high-flying manoeuvre there from Hade Vansen, who, as I've said before, can mix it up in all sorts of ways, as we saw there with that no hands plancher all the way over to the floor. Birchall's head smashed into the ring barrier, and now rolled back into the ring. Hade vaulting up to the top rope and leaping with, I'm not sure what he's going for, it looked like a double axe handle, but Birchall cannily sidestepping and meeting him with a fist to the gut, sending Hade all the way inside out and onto his back. These two again ready to lock up, and Hade Vansen also with one of the most impressive vertical leaps in the academy. Him and Eamon Shroud, I'd say, was something of a tie. Vansen capable of really taking to the skies. He's got an impressive jump behind him, and he is an impressive athlete in all sports, including wrestling, and a single leg trip from Vansen. Vansen locking that leg off under the armpit, blocking off the right foot. Birchall dropping down and lacing that leg over his own knee. Birchall with a boot to the mush, but Vansen pushing it out of the way, and Birchall continually attempting to obscure Vansen's view and make things very difficult for him. Vansen still, however, with the left leg locked. Birchall trying another tactic, trying to wiggle his way out, and he does so, I believe, yes. And he's got that wrist lock locked on. Very unusual position. I think his left leg is still locked, but no. And Birchall has finally managed to find a way out. It was ungainly, but he's still got that wrist lock locked on tightly. And Hade Vansen felt folded up like a pretzel there. And now on his back, Vansen's feet in the ropes. Andy Gordon calling for a break. Birchall doing so, but not without giving Vansen's face a quick wash with the sole of his boot. Hard shot from Vansen. Another one, great big chop. And a front chancery, twisting round into an incredible twisting cross arm lock attempt. Birchall managing to block it, but beautiful work from Hade Vansen. A lovely twisting three-quarter somersault into the cross arm breaker, twisting all the way around Birchall before he had a clue what was going on. However, when he was taken down, he knew exactly what was going on, and that's why he applied that fisherman's grip, almost unbreakable, and proving that Hade could not break that grip. He had to go for the ropes instead, and Hade unable to get that cross arm lock. These two pensively going for a Greco-Roman knuckle lock. They get it, and Birchall managing to outpower Vansen once more, breaking the lock with his knees, and Vansen on his hands and knees, an arm being drilled, and you can see hyperextended by Birchall, that shoulder into the floor. Vansen smashing the mat in anger and frustration, doing all he can to fill his body with adrenaline, fill his blood with the energy that he needs to do just that. And there we see, and that's roll through and twist round into a wrist lock of his own, but no, following it up with a sunset flip, sending Birchall all the way over onto his back. Birchall back up on his feet, and if he was phased by that hip toss, he's certainly not showing it. These two going for a Greco-Roman knuckle lock again. And again, Birchall with the strength advantage, again breaking it and twisting around into a wrist lock. Vansen up on his feet this time, however, not allowing himself to be drilled down into the floor like last time. And lovely leg high, straight over the shoulder of Birchall, and a snap power slam. Beautiful 1-2. And a last minute kick out from Vansen. Vansen breaking that wrist lock attempt with his legs running off the ropes, but almost Dick Togo-like power slam by Paul Birchall, just snapping it over with an incredible arch. And again, a tight cover by Birchall, but Vansen managing to kick out. Vansen reeling in the ropes, Birchall taking his time, twisting around with the arm and shooting Vansen into the opposing corner with great impact and velocity. Birchall dropping down, such is the momentum at which he throws his opponent into that opposing turnbuckle. Vansen ready to stand back up onto his feet, but he's going to be met by a hungry Birchall, preying on him with that gut-wrench suplex. Birchall twisting around, going straight down for a cover. And everything Birchall does is so punishing, so draining for his opponent, taking so much out of him. Vansen once more looking for a way out. The fans willing him on one more time at Vansen's request, and Vansen making it back to his feet. Hard elbow, one more, make that 3. Vansen charging off the ropes, ducking a shot and firing off a flying clothesline. Birchall reeled, knocked down to the floor, shot into that rope, and Vansen with a 3/4 roll and an enormous forearm, sending Birchall crushing back down, going for a cover 1, 2, and that's not quite enough, but that was a very close 2 count there. Birchall able to kick out before the 3, Vansen back on top, and he has Birchall at a disadvantage, and that's not a place many wrestlers are for very long or for very often. Hard couple of European uppercuts sent Birchall reeling. Irish whip into the corner, and another forearm attempt was moved by Birchall. He had that one scouted, and lifting Vansen up with a brainbuster style suplex and going for a cover. No, charging off, and an amazing somersault senton 1, 2, and at the last minute a kick out from Vansen. Incredible there. Birchall with consummate and unbelievable ease, somersaulting straight onto his back, and squashing the wind out of Vansen's lungs. You can see Vansen sucking for air there whilst he's trapped in that surfboard submission manoeuvre by Birchall. Birchall with such a wide array of submissions, it's unbelievable. And you can see the veins just sticking out in Vansen's arms and the tendons as he attempts to spin round and reverse the manoeuvre, managing to do so perhaps, and Birchall unwilling to be turned, and these two in something of a bizarre situation, but no, being whipped off, and Vansen with a boot up and charging off the ropes. Birchall with the clothesline ducked by Vansen, and a tilt-a-whirl head scissors from Hade. Not a move you'll see him employ very often, and a Hurricane Rana, and he's really pulling out the high-flying manoeuvres. 1, 2 and a kick out, pulling out those manoeuvres in order to take down Birchall. Hade can't really beat him in a bout of power as we've seen earlier, so he's switching tactics a little, and a chop to the chest. And Vansen now managing to lift Birchall onto the middle rope, the top rope, and now folding his legs over. Vansen, what's he got in mind? And he's putting the boots to him on the top rope, just kicking him right in the face. Look at that, and a hard European uppercut, sending Birchall rocking, and now Vansen stepping up to meet him. But no, Birchall with a few shots to the gut. And what's he got? He's got a front chancery face lock, and he dumped him down with that gourd buster from the middle rope. And Birchall now on the middle rope himself, ready to take to the skies perhaps. Vansen down on his back, and Birchall with a leg drop. Lovely, hits that all solidly. 1, 2, and no, once more Hade managing to kick out just before that final 3 count. Birchall looking for Northern Lights. Yep, he gets it. Lovely arch, but Vansen managing to kick out just before the 3. Vansen getting back up to his feet, backing himself into a corner, but Birchall's right there to meet him with a hard shot to the gut. Irish whip, and Vansen breaking off with a knee and a pair of open-handed palms to the gut. Pair of chops make that 3 and 4. Irish whip to the corner sends Birchall in sternum first. Vansen meeting him with a knee and an enormous German suplex. 1, 2, and Vansen bridging on the end. Incredible strength from Vansen, lifting Birchall all the way up into the air and landing hard at a very high angle on his neck and shoulders. And Vansen now bolting up with such grace and ease. Vansen, a jiu-jitsu master, it should be noted. The flying headbutt missing, and Vansen, for all the grace of his vertical leap and that flying headbutt, there was nothing there to greet him on the way down, and he was met with nothing but solid mat. Birchall now recuperating. Vansen will have to do so as well after that hefty impact he just took, and looks like Birchall will be making his way to his feet first. Birchall charging through the ropes, and a clothesline just knocking Hade inside out of his shoes. Absolutely unbelievable. 1, 2, and again, just when you think there's no life left in Vansen, he proves you wrong by raising a shoulder off the mat and staying in the match for 1 minute longer. And Birchall solidly on top at this juncture, ready to lift him up, and he lifts him into the air, and Vansen kneeing him in the head. I'm not sure what Birchall was going for, maybe a variant on James Ty's Titanic perhaps, and Vansen kneeing him in the head whilst upside down and dropping down, and he's got that sleeper hold locked on nicely. Birchall looking to be in quite a bad way. Vansen's done a great job throughout this matchup of taking the fight to the monster that is Birchall, and with incredible tenacity, Vansen hanging on. He was chucked over Birchall's shoulder, but he kept the hold locked on, and Birchall writhing in pain and agony, looking for a way out of this manoeuvre. It's almost like a choke, and Vansen managed to hold on, and a bizarre manoeuvre. No, he gets him still back on it. I think Birchall was trying to land on his feet, but no, Vansen with the hold kept on. He's got it in a headlock, almost something of a choke now. I'm not sure the referee needing to get a better angle on that one. I think he's letting it go. It's like a headlock, and now a reverse headlock takedown almost. And Vansen with like a cross-face manoeuvre on Birchall and wrenching it back. Just look at that, and there's a submission victory for Vansen. Birchall tapping out. incredible matchup, and Vansen with a reverse headlock takedown into a crossface variant submission on Birchall, and Birchall with no option left but to submit. Vansen should be very pleased with himself. That's a tick in the W box for the South City Thriller in this awesome hard-fought matchup against Paul Birchall. Vansen on his feet absorbed a great deal of punishment in this match, but in the end he came out the victor, and his hand is raised. Birchall simply lying on the floor, forced to submit, something Birchall has done very, very rarely throughout his career. Vansen exhausted from the physical toll this matchup took, but Birchall obviously more so, still lying on his back, just grasping at his head in pain, and the fans very appreciative of a man with the talent of Vansen who can force a behemoth the likes of Paul Birchall to submit. Vansen making his way to the back now, a very happy man.
Stixx, please, if I could just have your attention for a second. You're here tonight, Stixx. Stixx, please, if I could have your attention for just 2 minutes. You're here tonight as the former FWA Academy.
I'm not former enough for you smarts. That belt was stolen from me, and these people know it. But once again, I'm in Buckley Community Centre. Once again, a 12 match has been booked. And once again, Stixx is not happy. You would have thought that people would have figured out by now that making me unhappy ends in people getting hurt. People like Raj Ghosh, people like Eamon Shahan, people like cocky ring announcers. But don't worry, John Atkins, even Stixx can have a change of heart. Not many times it's happened. So we come to tonight, the title match. Raj Ghosh versus Eamon Shahan. No Stixx inside. But, unlike last month, I'm going to let this title match happen. On 2 conditions, of course. Always 2. Number 1, I can come backstage right now and I can beat the piss out of both of you. Just because I can. But number 2, and I think you people will like this more, I'll let this match happen on 1 condition. And that would be man is a Stixx fan. 1 condition, that is, I get to pick the next number 1 contender for whoever wins. But don't worry, it won't be me, unfortunately, for this man right here. Because I know this guy wants to see Stixx as the Academy champion again. Quite yet, and come out here and give me an answer. But I will consider, if you turn up for your match tonight and start wrestling, I will consider that you have taken my stipulations and I can name the next number 1 contender. Now, how fair am I? We're going to get your match because I'm allowing it, and that is the only reason. You cocky ass ring announcer, you can have your mic back.